Bayern win their Klassiker and possibly the league already, and the champs of England continue their slump.
A quiet and routine weekend that I'm sure the top will love in Spain. And if you like defense, you'll love Italian football this past weekend. All this and more on this episode 95 of the No Business Soccer Podcast, coming up to 100. Snooze. Almost called you Coos. Snooze. Kick us off.
Let's dig in. Welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we got the full fam today. We have Brainiac J-Fam hanging out on the couch. We have Danny P on the ones and twos, and of course, my boy Hype Man Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
I want to tell you what I've been getting away with, just doing single pours of bourbon every now and then, grabbing a beer. But today I made an old fashioned, and I do have to admit it's still a very lazy old fashioned. As
I was gonna say, yeah.
This is pre-made. Oh. It's a Penelope Black Walnut old fashioned that we have. Not only that, I didn't make the sphere ice. I bought the sphere ice. And yeah, so everything about this. Geez, what happened here? What's going on there? Come on. Hey, focus up. Lock in, camera. Come on. And yeah, so it screams lazy, but it's still really, really good. And yeah, it was easy to make because I didn't do anything.
You bought like a bag, like you went to the corner store and bought a bag of sphere ice?
No, I bought it from Specs. They make it's called Fat Ice. They make spheres and cubes. They didn't have any cubes, so
okay.
Went with spheres.
Hey, you know what?
All right, guys.
I applaud the effort. How about that?
Yeah, I appreciate it. And it's good anyway. So,
cheers.
Oh, fuck the clean. Oh, and while I do, go ahead and like and subscribe. Missing the whole thing here. Jeez, that's how bad this is going so far. Like and subscribe is the best way to tell YouTube that, hey, maybe we're pretty cool to listen to, and best way to get us out there and reach new people. So, cheers, everyone. Not much.
Cheers, please. Enjoy your drink, sir. Enjoy your drink with him. And today we have a full slate to go over, so we won't waste too much time. We have Serie A, the Prem, we have La Liga and the Bundesliga to cover. And of course, we have the UEFA competitions just around the corner. We have, playoffs here in Austin, Texas to talk about. There's so much going on. It is the loveliest time of the year. Plus, it's starting to get darker earlier. The weather, I would say, it's starting to cool down, but like not really, still 90 degrees outside. So
yeah,
that's
still Texas.
But
still Texas.
Yeah. One day we'll be a little colder, but that's not today. And I think we'll start here in Austin, Texas. Boots on the ground for the Austin FC Minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the playoffs are set, and Austin FC have won the LAFC lottery. Let's go. Austin FC will be taking on LAFC for the first round of the playoffs. Again, the first round is a best of 3 series, with the schedule being in LAFC on Wednesday, October 29th at 9:30 p.m. Good Lord, it's in LA. So it's 9:30 here Central. And then they come to Austin November 2nd, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. And if necessary, we'll go back to LAFC, but it won't be necessary because we'll beat them there and also beat them here.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm not sure how we're going to do in LAFC, but Austin FC is undefeated on Sunday night football. And we have a Sunday night football game, and I'm hoping we can do it and get them one more time, get a beat on them one more time. And plus also, my boy Son, the son I never had, is coming to Q2 Stadium. Finally, I've been wanting to get him in a red uniform for a very long time, and never happened. But Son will be here. Of course, Boanga, that whole high-powered front is going to be crazy to watch. And yeah, can't wait. Sunday, November 2nd. Snooze.
Not high-powered enough.
That's right.
But yes, I will be going. I would have gone last time, but Son didn't play, and neither did pretty much half of the players that were, the best players for either side. So
all international.
It's all wrapped up. It doesn't matter. So
cool. Do you have
okay. Hope to see you out there.
Just 2?
Just 2. I have all 4 now, but I'm gonna have just 2.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a good guy. I'm loyal.
What a guy. I didn't know how well your friend would give you the Caesar if you would. Sonny.
It's an even split. All right. So it's not like I'm being nice to him. He paid for him. So yeah, I'm not that nice. But anyway,
Cool.
well, I'm excited. And for more than just seeing Sunny, but of course, Austin FC, first time in the playoffs since 2022. Is that when it was?
Yes.
Or the series, the semifinals run.
Yeah, it was our
it was
second
fun.
year.
It's a lot of fun. So let's just hope that the LAFC leg goes okay. You know what I mean? Like, let's have something to play for here, is what I'm saying. But what am I talking? No negativity on this podcast. Okay. Well, if nothing else, let's move on over to Italy.
Let's do it. To Serie A. Makes me miss it all the time. Pasta. Yeah, Serie A, not the greatest weekend, if you like, since we were talking about it, high-powered offenses. It was a really good defensive weekend.
Opposite of that.
I think there were 4 0-0 draws, and we'll go over all of them here and go over all the matches for match day 7. But right now, let's go and talk about the top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 7, and we will start with number 1, trouble in Turin.
League leaders Napoli go down on the road against Torino and are shut out 1-0. Napoli dominated in every single category but the scoreline, and it was the on-loan man from Napoli, Gio Simeone, that scores the winning goal to pour salt in the wound. What a result for Torino, and not a good result for Napoli.
And number 2, Inter getting it done.
No Turam, no problem for Inter as they get a 1-0 win over Roma on the road, and the goal comes from the up-and-coming Anjuan Boni, who's looked great in the absence of Turam, and Inter are right back in the title fight with this massive win.
And last, number 3, nothing is impossible.
I love it. Nico Paz gave Como all 3 points against Juve in a 2-0 win in front of their home fans and in front of that beautiful lake out there. It was his goal and his assist that was the difference and sends Como into the top 6. And I think that hopefully they've gotten over the hump and they continue to stay there.
Yes, sir. And those are your top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 7. Snooze, I know you're smitten over there. Paz was your man crush we called earlier, right?
That's my boy. Yeah, that's my man crush.
Yeah, that was your man crush this year.
And it's pretty cool because now he's playing for Argentina as well. So it's like little bitty Como has a starter for the team that won, a World Cup recently. Like it's just crazy. I mean, obviously he wasn't on the World Cup winning team, but you get my point. They're just so deep, and he's one of the players on that team. That's my boy.
Yeah. There you go. Nice. Well, that's it. We will go ahead and then just dive into match day 7, and it all started Saturday, unfortunately, with only 2 goals between all of these games. And the first 2 started out as 0-0 draws. First one, obviously, Sassuolo going on the road to take on Lecce.
And I was pretty excited to see this one. I felt like it would be a lot of potential for some goals coming from Sassuolo anyways, but it didn't happen. It was a pretty even match that ended without a goal, but the best thing I can say is that now both sides have a 3-game unbeaten streak. Even though there's not a lot of wins in that unbeaten streak, they didn't lose. So
that's a start. And then our next 0-0 draw came between Pisa and Verona.
It was another 0-0, and this one was somehow more eventful, I guess we can say, than the other one. Gift Orban, that is, missed a handful of chances and just trying to come off my guys list at this point because I was very high on him for a couple of results back in probably September, and now he's just trying to fall off.
And then our third matchup had our first goal, and it came from Torino as they beat Napoli 1-0 there.
Oliveira, KDB, Spinazzola, Elmas, you see those, how I pronounce those with some gusto. They all had perfect opportunities to score goals and just couldn't get them in the back of the net, and it bit them. I spoke about how Torino had the worst goals against in Serie A this season, and that doesn't matter when the main guys on the other side are having an off day. Yes, a late goal. Don't laugh anymore. You made me laugh. Yes, a late goal for Napoli was ruled out for offside in stoppage time, but this shouldn't have been this close to begin with. Again, what a result for Torino.
And our last matchup of Saturday was the second goal on the match day as the visiting Inter take on Roma, beat them 1-0.
Inter closed the gap on Roma and Napoli with this result and are now right back in the thick of it at the top of the table. It's worrying signs for Roma, though, as their goal-scoring struggles continued on Saturday. Roma have the worst goals for in the top 6 of the Serie A table, and they've only scored more than one goal in 2 of their first 7 Serie A matches. I messed up twice, so I'm going to say that again just so you can have the facts straight. They've only scored more than 1 goal in 2 of their first 7 Serie A matches. So obviously a little bit of a drought going on, which is just crazy talk for a Gasparini team, because if you think about how his Atalanta side were, they didn't have a trouble scoring goals, but it's just the way this team is. They really need to get Dovbyk and Dybala going, because they can't continue to win and grind out these 1-0 games all the time, especially against some of the better teams in Serie A.
And then we moved on to Sunday as much of a relief. Como scoring 2 goals, and it's enough to take out Juve, who scored none.
Como built on their unbeaten streak, as it's now at 5 games, and they send Juve down to 7th with only a single win in their last 5 matches. As we mentioned earlier, Paz was incredible in this match, but where were all the stars at for Juve? They have everyone on that side of the pitch that's pretty much from the front to the back is just quality, and they weren't showing it on the day. Just look at the last 6 matches in all comps for Juve. It's 5 draws and then this loss since their last win back on the 13th. That win was over Inter, but man, 5 draws and a loss. It's only if you're drawing and you end with a win, it looks a lot better, I will say. But man, 5 draws and a loss is not a good look for this Juve side.
And then we do another 180 as we go back to 0-0 draws, and this time it's Genoa taking on Parma.
Take a bow, Zion Suzuki. Parma's keeper made save after save, including saving a penalty to give Parma a point. After they went down a man in the first half, you thought it'd be over, but not with Suzuki in that net. In that net.
And then we moved on to Bologna taking on Cagliari, as the visiting Bologna scored 2 goals and beat Cagliari 2-0.
Cagliari fall at home to Bologna, and it was Orsolini's perfect shot from outside the box that put it out of reach for the home side. It makes it back-to-back wins for Bologna as they continue to climb the table, and my dude Orsolini is getting it done. I can't believe he's still with Bologna. He's at the age where I think he'll end up either leaving at the end of the season or in the winter window. But man, he is so good right now.
And then we go back to 0-0 draws. And it's the last one, I promise. And it was Atalanta and Lazio, again, drawing 0-0.
You know, we always say, like, we don't talk about them. I wouldn't have had anything to say about the Serie A if I didn't say stuff about these 0-0s. But honestly, in this one, I still can't believe Atalanta didn't win this match or score a goal. They outshot our Lazio 14 shots to 4, and Lookman had at least 2 shots on target that I can remember. He might have had more. They hit the post. It was a super bad luck game for the AC Aliens. They should have gotten a goal. Didn't come. And I guess that's good because our Lazio get a point, but they're still not looking like themselves.
And then we move on to one of only 2 games that had both teams scoring in the game, and it was Milan and Fiorentina. Milan taking care of business 2-1.
Rafa Leao is back and scoring for Milan, and he was the difference in this one. He made a few cameos prior to the break, but he got a full 90 minutes under his belt today and a brace to go with it. Well, not today, but, in the game. Milan are always way more fun to watch with a healthy Leao on their side, and our Fiorentina did put up a fight, but it's another loss.
And then for Monday Night Football, it's our second matchup that had a goal apiece for each side, and it was a point apiece for each side as Cremonese and Udinese. Battle of the Nazis ends in a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, mid-table teams, and with the draw, they continue to be mid-table. I didn't get to watch it yet, but I'm going to watch it back to see how the game played out. I will say, though, by this point, Cremonese, as a newly promoted team, they just look like they're going to be mid-table. I don't feel any way that they're going to be in that relegation scrap unless, they can obviously do a complete 180 with injuries or something crazy. But as it stands right now, Vic, I feel like Cremonese are staying up.
Yep, and those are your matches for match day 7 of Serie A. I think I kind of agree too, man. Cremonese has been pretty surprising, even though their badge kind of looks like a PlayStation failed design. You know what I mean? Like a PS logo failed. I don't know. It's pretty weird to look at, but yeah,
it does. It looks like I don't know, some Chinese letters or something from afar. Yeah. Because I can see it. It's very small, so it's it just looks kind of. But I will say, their stretch of draws, right? It's 4. The last 5 games is 4 draws and a loss. That looks pretty bad, but mid-table, it is what it is. Oh, hey, look at speaking of the devil. So Cremonese, it's like I was saying with Juve. if you have a run of draws, that's fine because you're not losing. But if you don't end that run with a win, it just looks so much worse. So Cremonese, man, they get a win coming up, then we'll, it's water under the bridge. Right now, mid-table, they're not looking too shabby. I like it. Pisa not doing their thing. Sassuolo right above Cremonese. I mean, come on, what's going on in Serie A? Those new teams showing out.
Yep. Pisa has to bring them down, though. They're in 20th spot. They have 3 measly points. We have 3 people in the 3 teams in the relegation zone, all with 3 points apiece. Fiorentina at number 18, Genoa at number 19, and of course, Pisa holding up the rest of the table at number 20. Looking at the top of the table, I guess, it's still a little bit early as AC Milan hold the league with 16 points. Inter Milan right behind them with 15 points. Napoli defending champions are also have 15 points in the number 3 spot. And then Roma round out our top 4 with 15 as well. So, number 3 and number 4 taking losses this past week, making AC Milan and the Milans go up to number 1 and 2. Tough match for them, but it's a long season. I know we're still looking at this really early, but yeah, this is why it's fun. I
don't expect to see our Fiorentina down there in the bottom 3, though. I think they'll be able to get up there a little bit more. It's good quality teams that have come up in the Serie A this year, because there were some pretty bad ones that, they weren't bad when they came up, but you get my point. Bad teams that went down last year is what I'm trying to say. But Pisa, they got shafted, man. They get promoted, and then their head coach, their manager, gets purchased and sold to another team that's in the second division. So I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It's kind of crazy. That's a very Italian thing, it feels like. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about in the Serie A?
No, I don't know why that's Italian, but I don't have anything else.
I don't either. There's probably Italians like, what the hell?
Yeah, like what do you say funny for?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was thinking. All right. Let's do it. Let's go to Germany.
Let's do it to Bundesliga. Bundesliga. Should we just call it Bayern Liga? I have no idea. It's being absolutely dominated at the moment. But let's go ahead and dive into Bundesliga match day 7. And we'll start, of course, with your top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 7. And it all starts with number 1. Like I said, can we just crown the champions already?
Bayern get a 2-1 win over Dortmund to stay perfect on the season with 7 wins from 7 in the Bundesliga. Dortmund were really their only threat to the title this season, because now they're 5 points ahead of second in the table, Leipzig, but they already beat that team 6-0 this season. So, man, they are truly the Bavarian bullies, and I think this is about wrapped up.
And number 2, the Battle of the Birds ends in a stalemate.
We had a hell of a match between Freiburg and Eintracht Frankfurt that ended 2-2. Burkhardt bags a brace, and Grifo gets a late equalizer off the bench, and that stadium was rocking. And that's the one that's in Freiburg. I can't remember what it's called. Europa Park, I believe it is, something like that. If I have a chance to go, I'm going to try, because that was awesome. And I have a little bit more to talk about this match, but we'll talk about it in a sec.
Okay, well, those are your top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 7. We will get into the matches here in just a sec, but I do have to say the Bayern Munich, we usually have a little bit more bullet points to talk to right now, but Bayern Munich is just taking off with this league. So number 1 is like number 1, right? And the rest is kind of like too early to even like start talking about and like start making comparisons. We're still learning, so we'll have some more coming up. And we already have
we can see that there's a huge talent gap between the top team and then the teams that are left. So I mean, now we can pretty much say that the top 2-3 or the top 3 teams outside of Bayern, obviously, Bayern have beat them and shown that they're probably not going to lose a match this season in the Bundesliga, barring anything just crazy, like out of this world where everyone gets hurt or something. I don't know. I don't see it happening. And the teams that they're right underneath that you would think like, oh, maybe they can push for the title. Like let's say Leipzig's 6-0 loss. I mean, that's insane. There's not another league where it's dominant like this. Maybe PSG, but we don't really cover the French league. But every other league is pretty competitive. I mean, at least with 2 teams, not in the Bundesliga, my friend, not in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, like I said on the short, pretty much if you're going against Bayern, you're just going out there getting some cardio in. So,
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and jump into the match day and talk about the rest of the matches, because it all started on Friday with Union Berlin getting a 3-1 win against Mönchengladbach.
We know that Union are hard to beat at home, and that goes especially for a Gladbach side that are not good right now. Gladbach got a goal back after going down 2-0, and what a goal it was, but a late third goal sealed 3 points for Union Berlin. It is bad times for Gladbach.
And then we moved on to Saturday as Mainz put up 3, but unfortunately Leverkusen put up 4, and they take the win.
Leverkusen get past Mainz with ease, and even though the scoreline seems like it's close, it never really felt like Leverkusen would be losing this match at any point. Mainz, it's sad to say, they just look terrible defensively right now, and even though Leverkusen have been much, much better under Hillman, Mainz made it too easy, and I mean just way easier than it needed to be for their defense to be unlocked time after time. Leverkusen, though, they're starting to look like themselves.
And then we moved on to RB Leipzig taking on Hamburg, with RB Leipzig getting the win 2-1.
Leipzig continued their hot streak with 3 points from a pretty decent Hamburg side. With other results from around the league, Leipzig have climbed their way back into second in the table, but it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down anytime soon, and that is until they play Bayern, whatever that is, again.
And then we have Cologne taking on Augsburg, and they fight to a 1-1 draw.
Cologne, they did not keep their win streak going, and in fact, it took a 76-minute screamer from Said El Mala to level it up. But credit to the little goats as they continue to stack up points where they can, and they're looking good in the process. And again, another team that is promoted that's balling out.
And then we move on to Heidenheim and Werder Bremen as they both get two goals and a point apiece as they fight to a draw.
Heidenheim salvaged a point to get their first draw of the season against Werder Bremen. Heidenheim were absolutely dominant in this one, which is weird to say. Don't say that often. So much so that to fact check this multiple times, Vic, the exact numbers may be slightly different, but not too much off of there. The end result, though, is that Double H, Heidenheim, had 38 shots with 12 on goal. I mean, that is insane. I checked 3 different places. I saw it was like maybe 36 or 37, but it was around there. That is a true number. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. For reference, though, Werder only had 12 shots with 5 on goal, which that's a decent game. But 38 to 12, that's just insanity. A well-deserved point for the struggling Double H.
And then we move on to Wolfsburg taking on Stuttgart, and Stuttgart go on the road getting a 3-0 win.
Our Stuttgart get their fourth straight win, over a tumbling Wolfsburg side, and it was never in doubt as VfB took home 3 points. Unfortunately for Wolfsburg and Paul Simonis, the 2-week international break did not help them, really just picked up right where they left off and sucking. But Stuttgart now find themselves in the top 4 and flying.
And then the Bavarian bullies Bayern take on Dortmund and get the 2-1 win at home.
Well, there goes the Bundesliga. Bayern are running riot through Germany, and honestly could go undefeated with Kane, Diaz, and Olise playing how they're playing up at the top right now. And let's not forget that they should expect Musiala back at some point in this season as well. They might not even really matter for the Bundesliga. They probably got that wrapped up. They'll probably use Musiala for the Champions League knockout stages and see how far they can go there. What a freaking incredible run Bayern is on right now.
And then we started Sunday with Freiburg taking on Eintracht Frankfurt as they fight to a 2-2 draw.
The draw overall was a fair result for both sides as neither took control of the game, but there were encouraging signs like Burkhardt getting his first Bundesliga brace for Eintracht since moving over from Mainz. And then also, how about Vincenzo Grifo coming off the bench to bring the home side level? And it was exactly what that home crowd deserved because, like I mentioned, that place was rocking. It was awesome, and I really want to go now. That one might just have made themselves on the bucket list. But another thing I noticed, and Vic, you know how I like me some kits. I don't know if this was their regular home kit or not, but it was like white with red pinstripes. It was very, very clean, very, very cool. I don't wear kits often, but I might get that one. That one looked pretty cool.
And then we ended Sunday with Hoffenheim taking care of business and beating St. Pauli 3-0 on the road.
Hoffenheim piled on the misery against St. Pauli, who lose 3-0 at home. It's now 4 losses in a row for St. Pauli, and they are inching towards that relegation scrap. But for Hoffenheim, 10 points for them means 10 points for them means they're slightly above mid-table and not too far off the top 6, which is a far cry from where they were last season. Good result for Hoffenheim. Great result.
And those are your matches for match day 7 of Bundesliga. What do you think about this news? Let's get an all-star team. All the best players in Bundesliga against Bayern Munich. Do you think they can beat them?
I think they could, they can draw them at least. How about that?
Might be a start.
This
Gotta figure something out, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really look forward to any of the Bayern games in the Bundesliga, but I do look forward to them in the Champions League, which, hey, spoiler alert, we'll be talking about coming up at the end of the show. But yeah, again, another league and another table where some outstanding newly promoted clubs are like balling out, I guess is the best word I can say.
Yeah. And if we take a look at the table, of course, your champions, returning champions, and still seem to be soon champions, Bayern Munich are on top, number 1, with 21 points, 7 straight wins. They're followed by RB Leipzig now, who are able to leap into the number 2 spot with 16 points. Stuttgart hop into the number 3 spot with 15 points in the latest win, and Borussia Dortmund, with their loss against the Bavarian Bullies, fall down to the number 4 spot with 14 points. If we take a look at the bottom of the table, the 2 teams in the relegation zone are Heidenheim. They have 4 points in the 17th spot. And then our Borussia Mönchengladbach holding up the rest of the table with 3 points. Guys, get it together. I like saying your name. I need you guys to stay in this league. I need you guys to stay in this freaking league.
They're pretty bad. They've already gone through and sacked one manager, and the next one's not doing too much better. Heidenheim, I don't think they'll ever sack their manager because he's just been with them forever and, brought them up from nothing to where they are now. I don't think many people saw them staying in the Bundesliga to begin with. So maybe it's just like, okay, they're fine going down because they've done it. They even got into Europe last season, if we recall. So yeah, I'm not too bothered by the teams that are at the bottom of the table right now, Vic. But I will say the teams that are mid-table to a little bit further up, which Hamburg and Köln, doing great since they were promoted. It's like they feel like they should have been here all along. Looking at them,
yeah, Köln's tickling that top 5 right there for the European competitions. And they're right below Bayer Leverkusen. They're full 3 points back. They have 11 points, but yeah, they are sitting pretty, and they are poised to make a run for it. That would be so cool.
Disappointed for Mainz. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just real quick on the kit situation for them. I've looked at like 3 different spots, and even the ones that are the ones that are sold out are like the cheapest ones, and then the rest are like, I don't think this is a real website. I don't know if I should really order from this place. So like everything's sold out for Köln's kits. I can't freaking find one.
You know what? I'm going in December, so I will.
My man,
I'll see if I can get you one.
Yes, my man. There we go.
There's bound to be a team shop around the Christmas markets, right? I'm sure. Okay, I'll look it up for you. And the little goats. Or do you want a hat? Which one?
Both. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Oh, both. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. I'll just get you whatever you need, man. Yeah, I'll get you whatever you need.
You're rich.
I was just gonna say that Mainz are the one that I'm most disappointed in this season. I mean, just look at them. They are tumbling down the table, and they're in Europe too. So it's not like they have any time to breathe. They got back-to-back matches all the time, and they're just not doing that good. I hope they don't pull like a Girona from last season in La Liga. I don't know why I'm saying like that. Why? Being weird. But if you remember, they almost got relegated, and they were in the Champions League in the same season. So, Mainz just got to pull it together, man. Let's go. Okay. We are making good time right now, so let's keep that up. Let's move along to Spain.
Let's do it to La Liga.
Nice harmony, bro.
Smooth. Yes, La Liga was a little bit more I wouldn't say routine, but there's a lot of people up top that are happy to stay up top. And nothing too crazy happened, but we still have some matches and headlines from La Liga match day 9, and we'll go ahead and go over those right now. And it starts with number 1, of course, Barcelona barely making it out alive.
When we said Barca would have enough firepower without Rafinha, Lewandowski, and co. to get a win over Girona, we didn't think it would be this close. Barca beat Girona with a 93rd minute stoppage time goal from Araujo, but the bad news is Hansi Flick was sent off, which means he misses the next match. And if you don't know, that next match is El Clasico. That is a gut check for Barcelona.
And number 2, Villareal and Real Betis putting on a show.
Yeah, what a game this was. What a show. Buchanan and Molero put the host Villareal up 2-0 before Antony the GOAT gets a brace with a stoppage time equalizer. You got to give credit to Betis, though, who go on the road and come back from 2 goals down at La Ceramica. This one was a fun one, Vic.
And number 3, Real Madrid leave it late at Getafe.
Why does it always feel like there's some kind of incident or controversy or drama with Real Madrid matches? And this was no exception, as Mbappe scores in the 80th minute to give Real the 1-0 lead, and they take all 3 points. And I'll talk about that drama here in a sec.
And those are your top matches and headlines for La Liga match day 9. Again, pretty routine weekend. And let's go ahead and just get into the match day, because it started Friday. And speaking of routine, as Espanyol goes on the road to take on Oviedo and get a 2-0 win.
Yeah, it is routine. We said that Espanyol had a great chance to end their winless run on the road against Oviedo, and they do just that. Oviedo didn't really even threaten Espanyol outside of hitting the post in the first half. Espanyol get back on track, and it's good to see them there.
And then we move into Saturday. I know I said everything was routine, but Mallorca with the stunner as they beat Sevilla 3-1.
This was definitely a stunner. It was a tale of 2 halves, too, for Sevilla, who dominated the first half, but were only up 1-0. And after the break, the floodgates opened up with Medici getting the 67th minute equalizer, and the substitute Mateo Joseph, maybe, I don't know, getting a brace to ruin Sevilla's home game. What a gut punch for a Sevilla side who had risen up the table and seemed like they had all the momentum in the world, Vic. Mallorca were bottom of the table, but they just might have turned things around, and at least maybe their entire season with that win.
And then we move on to Barcelona taking on Girona, and Barcelona get the 2-1 win.
Was this a case of Barca looking past Girona and getting mentally ready for Real Madrid already? Or is it the injuries finally catching up to them? Not sure, but either way, Girona was able to beat their high line by forcing turnovers high up in the midfield and getting instant on-goal opportunities, which is exactly what Barcelona has been getting into, or what's been getting them into trouble recently. Girona had a couple clear one-on-ones with the keeper and couldn't convert. Credit to Chesney in goal for Barca, though, because, what happened with that is like, it just can't happen for Barcelona with other teams. But the fact that he was able to keep them in against a Girona team and they didn't drop points before El Clasico, that's a good on you for Chesney.
And then we moved in with one of our matches of the weekend as Villareal and Real Betis fight to a 2-2 draw.
You could see the disappointment on Marcelino's face after his Villareal side let the 3 points slip from their grasp after leading Betis virtually the entire game. With that result, they stay towards the top of the table, but miss out on a good chance to gain ground in the table with Barca and Real, the only teams ahead of them, and with El Clasico right around the corner. But like we said, Antony drugged this team to the finish line, and his Betis side continues to impress.
And then we move on as Atletico Madrid take on Osasuna and get a 1-0 win.
Atleti survive a scare at home from Osasuna, and it wasn't like a scare that they could have lost. No, they were the better side by far, but it was a scare that Atleti would draw against an inferior team again, but they always do. But Almad scored, and all is well. The weirdest part in this match was the goal from Alex Baena that was chalked off by the ref and VAR intervention for a booty bump by Griezmann in the box. And, I mean, it was the slightest of booty bumps. The guy was running by, and he just, checked him a little bit. But anyway, technically, it did help out and block him from being able to defend. But either way, it was soft, and it was just a weak call.
And then we had Elche taking on Athletic Club, and both teams have fight to a 0-0 draw. Sorry.
Yeah, and this one, it's all right. Well, this is the big test for Elche. We wanted to see how they do against this team, and I was just hoping and praying that they didn't get blown out for whatever reason. I didn't think that would happen because Athletic Club hadn't been themselves, and Nico Williams isn't at full strength yet. But they passed the test. I was excited to see it. They passed the test. Yes, it was a 0-0, but they dominated with 12 shots to Athletics 3, 4 on target to Athletics 1. They had the bulk of possession as well. And I was just super impressed overall by this match and by what Elche did. They didn't play Athletic Club like a smaller team typically plays in La Liga or just anywhere. They went after them, and they were just unlucky to not get the win.
And speaking of draws, we had Celta Vigo taking on Real Sociedad, who fight to a 1-1 draw.
Man, this was a tough result for Celta as they led the entire match from the 20th minute on, but they had to play the whole second half with a man down. And Villareal took advantage in the 89th minute. It's now 4 draws and a loss in the last 5 La Liga matches for Celta. And for Real Sociedad, they'll take any points they can get at this point since they're just hanging out in that bottom 3 trying to make their way out.
And then we had Rayo Vallecano going on the road against Levante, taking care of business, winning 3-0.
Rayo make it back-to-back wins as they beat up on Levante on the road. No less. Jorge de Frutos continues to light up La Liga, and shout out to Alvaro Garcia, who scored the third goal, who scored Vallecano's third goal, and makes him Rayo's all-time leading scorer in the top 5 of Spanish football. Felicidades, señor.
And then we had Real Madrid going on the road against Getafe, getting a 1-0 win.
Getafe played their tactics well to keep the game at 0-0 through the first 80 minutes of this match, Vic. But a red card in the 77th minute threw some cold water on their plans. And with the next move on the pitch, Mbappe buries a shot in the back of the net. I don't think it would have been a red because of the contact on Vinny Jr. was just very minimal. I don't think it should have been, but he did hit his face, but it was a brush on the face. You know what I mean? Like he definitely made contact, but it wasn't like there was anything substantial. And we've seen this from Vinny Jr. before. He overplays. He's dramatic about these certain fouls, and gets players sent off. And it's happened all the time. As a matter of fact, Vic, it happened in another incident in this same match. In the 84th minute, Getafe had a second player sent off for a challenge on Vinny that left him on a heap on the floor. He couldn't get up. He was dying out there, and they got 2 people sent off. It's so annoying. Like, we've had this conversation before, like as a athlete, as a male, there you go. As a grown man, like, it is so embarrassing. Like, you're going to show your kids this whenever you get older, Vinny. They're going to show him the pictures of you flopping when you got hit in the face like this. I mean, come on. Get on with it. He has 2 people sent off, and Getafe had a great chance to get a point, but because this man is flopping around like he got punched in the face in a UFC match, they got the win, and it's just annoying. I'm not even a hater about this Real Madrid side. It's just annoying that it continues to happen with the same guy over and over, and it is what it is. But man, it was annoying to watch, and I'm sorry, Getafe, because you deserve better. Okay, I got it out of my system. Let's move on.
Getting snooze off his soapbox, we'll go ahead and move on to Monday. It was Monday Night Football, but unfortunately it fell a little flat as Alaves and Valencia fight to a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, not much to say here other than Valencia to just continue to not impress. I guess the best way I could think of right now. I thought they'd be doing a little bit better, but I mean, Alaves not too shabby themselves. I wanted to see the table. We can pull up the table actually and talk about it. But man, it was just it's just a bad result after bad result for Valencia, who now 2 draws, 2 losses in the past 4 matches. I mean, man, it's not good. Alaves, a mid-table team, and Valencia, we see them at the bottom of the table last season. They ended up fighting their way out late, but I just expected more, Vic.
Yep. And while we have the table up, we'll go ahead and talk about it. As you see, your number 1 team is Real Madrid with 24 points. And again, they also have 20 goals for, which I think is second best. Second best in the league to Barcelona, who earned the number 2 spot with 22 points. Villareal in the 3rd spot with 17 points, a clear 5 points behind Barcelona already. And then we round out our top 4 with Atletico Madrid with 16 points. And then tickling your top 4 in that Europa spot is Antony and Real Betis, also with 16 points. If we take a look at the bottom of the table, look at the relegation zone, we'll see Real Sociedad. All these teams have 6 points, but they're in the 18th spot Real Oviedo have 6 points as well in the 19th spot. And then Girona, the number 20 spot, holding up the rest of the table with 6 points. Who you won't see is Mallorca, like we said a little while ago. Getting a win was enough to get them the hell out of relegation zone. They're now in the 16th spot and hoping to keep that trend going. Anything on the table you want to talk about, Snooze?
We'll continue to talk about impressive newly promoted sides with Elche doing their thing, sitting in 7th, right outside of the European places. But of course, if they do good in Europe this year, if 7th might be a European place. I mean, we're way out from that. I'm just mentioning that where they are almost a quarter through the season is really cool to watch. And I don't think it's a fluke. I will have an article that I have saved. I'm going to read it, and I want to just figure out what's going on because they deep dive into Elche and what they're doing that's making them so successful in La Liga this season. I have more to talk about whenever I get a chance to read it, but I'm just excited about the team. And I think that this result it wasn't over. They drew 0-0, but this result against Athletic Club is just impressive. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing them play more. They're kind of like the Rayo Vallecano of last year, except they were promoted. So it's even a little bit more impressive. Let's put it that way. That's it. Yeah, juicier. There you go. Juicy. Oviedo not doing good. Levante right above relegation. So, it is what it is, but it's cool so far. We have teams that are promoted that are doing great in the first 3 leagues that we've talked about. So pretty cool. Cool stuff.
Yes, sir. Cool.
Okay.
I think we done with La Liga.
Said it all?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's go ahead and move on to England.
Let's do it to the Prem. So I keep trying to freaking center my camera. It keeps just going left. That'll work.
Why is it going left? How's it moving on you?
I don't know. Because the cord goes that way. I mean, we could. Yeah, I do bang that sometimes too. And yeah,
hey, you're getting into it. Passionate about his European football.
Yes, not so much on the Premier League that we're about to talk about right now, because we're going to go ahead and go over our top matches and headlines for the Premier League match day 8. And as you can tell, as how I'm dressed, I'm not happy. But we will go talk about number 1. The Ange era is in Forest is no more.
It's the second shortest managerial term in the Premier League ever in the Premier League, as Ange Postecoglou was sacked after a 3-0 defeat to Chelsea. Ange failed to win any of his 8 matches in charge at Forest, and Forest are now looking for their 3rd manager of the season, and it's only mid-October. Well, it's late October now, but mid-October-ish. How about that?
And number 2, Palace and Bournemouth put on a show.
We told y'all to expect goals and excitement, and that's exactly what we got in a 3-3 draw. Sprinkle in a stoppage time penalty, and damn, did we have a good day on Saturday with this match. There's a big possibility that both of these sides finish in the European places come the end of the season, Vic.
And number 3, of course, what is wrong with Liverpool?
We should celebrate Manchester United finally getting back-to-back wins, but I don't know if anyone is sold yet on them. But the bigger storyline coming from this 2-1 win for United is the fact that Liverpool have now lost 4 straight matches and just look bad. All the players they brought in over the summer aren't gelling yet, and Slot's got a ton of work to do.
And those are your top matches and headlines for Premier League match day 8. Hoping to get it turned around for my Reds. Oh my God, 4 straight games with a loss, including all competitions. Doesn't look good. And I don't know when we're going to turn it around. So
I thought this was the one to turn around, so I'm not going to say anything else. We thought we were hanging out the morning before the match, and I was like, you can't be actually worried.
No,
so, we'll talk about it more in a second. Yeah. We'll talk about it more.
Yeah, let's go ahead and then move on to the actual match day matches, and we will get to that match soon and go a little bit more deeper into it. And we start with Saturday as Chelsea took on Nottingham Forest and took the dub 3-0.
Per The Athletic, Forest owner Marinakis departed his throne in the stadium around the 60th minute mark. Where had he gone, you might ask? Roughly 18 minutes after the final whistle, we found out with a message saying Postecoglou had been relieved of his duties with immediate effect after just 39 days in charge. That's on the Forest side, but on the Chelsea side of this 3-0 win, I mean, it's back-to-back wins for them as they continue to climb out of their slump that they were in, and it's they're looking pretty good right now. I mean, they beat the champs and they get a manager fired. I can't do too much better than that.
Yep. And then going on with Saturday, it's not getting better for Wolverhampton as they lose to Sunderland 2-0.
What a freaking result for Sunderland. A 2-0 against a struggling but established Premier League side in Wolves, and the Black Cats look like they'll be staying up this season, it's safe to say. While Wolves are the team that they very well could be, the worst side in the Prem this season. And we mentioned it in the preview, but it is official now. Sunderland, through 8 matches, or what was this match 8, right? Yeah, have more points than Southampton got all of last season.
That's right. Well, speaking of newly promoted teams, Burnley took on Leeds and get the W and win the battle of the promoted teams 2-0.
That is 6 points from 2 matches against their fellow promoted sides as Burnley continue their bid to stave off relegation this year. Leeds had their chances with our American Aronson hitting the post and a couple other chances as well. But Chuana's insane outside the box goal sealed the victory for Burnley. What a result.
And then we go on to the barn burner of the weekend as Crystal Palace took on Bournemouth, and they both draw 3-3.
This match was basically spot on for what we were hoping coming into it. Although the announcer said in the pre-match that the previous 2 iterations of this match ended 0-0. So wasn't cool. Kind of made me nervous. Like maybe it's going to underwhelm, but I'm glad that they didn't extend that streak. Bournemouth came out on fire and were up 2-0. And it felt like they would run away with it, especially since Palace's main man, Mateta, could have hit a hat trick in the first half, but couldn't get the goals to go. But no worries. The second half hat trick was enough to split the points, but holy shit, the man who just scored a hat trick to salvage a point for Palace gets played into a one-on-one with the keeper in the box in the 99th minute of stoppage time, Vic, and he skies it. He hits the shit out of the ball, and it goes out. I mean, you could collectively hear the gasp from the crowd. He just scored a hat trick, and then he misses the one that could have brought them all 3 points. He had all 3 points wrapped up with that goal, but it was easier. I guess I'm saying that from my couch sitting down, but it looked like it was easier to score than miss. But it was at that point, I mean, he did his damage. He was the man of the match, of course. But nonetheless, it's just great game between these teams. I can't wait to see the next one. And I'm glad it wasn't a 0-0. But yeah, if you haven't seen the highlights of it, go watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about with Mateta's just last gasp, could have won it match winning miss. I don't know, whatever you say.
Yeah. Yes. And then we moved on with our Saturday as Brighton get a 2-1 win against Newcastle.
Brighton get the better of Newcastle thanks to the experienced, good way to say old, Danny Welbeck. Both of his goals were so smooth and enough to get all 3 points. Voltemada's goal for Newcastle was a filthy backheel, though worthy of watching if you haven't yet. And it was worthy of gaining his team a point as well, but he couldn't get the help required from his teammates, and Newcastle fall again.
And then moving on with our Saturday, Manchester City took on Everton and shut them out 2-0.
Erling Haaland and City were too much for Everton to cope with on the road as City outshot them 23-5 and had 7 shots on goal to Everton's 1. With their main man, Jack Grealish, unable to play against his parent club as he's on loan at Everton, they lacked creativity. But I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I hope my boy Danny P hears this because Iliman Ndiaye is so good. He is so much fun to watch, tricky to get the ball off of. And just seeing him dance around in the box around some of the best defenders in the world was really cool. Obviously he didn't get to score, but he did the work, and it's just fun. I feel like, Vic, this Iliman Ndiaye would look great in Lily White in North London. That's what I think.
I don't know, man. Reds seem to buy everybody that kind of beats them, so hopefully he doesn't beat them too bad. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and move on. We'll close out our Saturday as Arsenal get the road win 1-0 against Fulham.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but Arsenal get the away win and keep their spot at the top of the table. Don't get it twisted, though. They fully deserved all 3 points and were by far the better team, but it is now 3 losses in a row for Fulham. Not looking good.
And then we started off Sunday as the Tottenham Spurs take on Aston Villa, and Aston Villa getting the 2-1 win.
Okay, you don't need to laugh on that one. I heard a little stupid laugh. Spurs went up early in this one, but that was about it on the attacking front as Villa got level through a gorgeous long-range shot from Morgan Rogers in the 77th minute. Matty Cash hits a ridiculous pass to Luca Digne, and if you haven't seen the highlights of it, I mean, the dude is like he's running back and they're telling him to pass it back to the keeper, and he just stops on a dime and hits a diagonal that is ridiculous. Anyway, ridiculous pass to Luca Digne, who brings it down, and it perfectly sets up Buendia with the game-winning goal in that 77th minute. It was some slick passing and clinical finishing, and it gives Villa all 3 points on the road. From a Spurs perspective, though, the defensive side of the ball was improved drastically, or it has improved drastically under Frank, but the attack is just not there anymore. It's still only 10 matches into Frank's tenure, so there should be some improvements, but there's got to be goal-scoring improvements sooner rather than later.
Sorry, Snooze. I just had to get that out just to feel a little something, because Liverpool has got me dead to the world as Manchester United go to Anfield and get the 2-1 win against Liverpool.
Yeah, I definitely got this one wrong. I thought that the break would give Slot enough time and a chance to figure out his soldiers, get them all lined up right, and get them firing correctly. And obviously, Amorim was about to get sacked, so they weren't going to beat this team. But a goal in the first or second minute, there's some controversy on that, of play, flipped the game on its head, and it actually felt like Manchester United were in control for most of the game. Gakpo got the equalizer, but Manchester United kept pushing, kept attacking, and rewarded with the goal from the big-ass head of Harry Maguire. That's now back-to-back wins for United and 3 wins in their last 5 in the Prem. While it makes it 4 straight losses to Liverpool, and you would expect that this is just a bump in the road for them, the gap to Arsenal is just getting bigger and bigger, because they are taking that first place spot and running with it right now.
And then we moved on to Monday Night Football as Brentford go on the road and get the 2-0 win against West Ham.
West Ham losing again. I thought they would do better in this one, and of course I haven't had a chance to watch it since it did happen while we're doing the middle of the day stuff here, getting everything ready for the show. But Brentford, what a freaking result. I honestly thought that West Ham would be able to get a win here and kind of start off and on the right foot and get things going. Especially, Nuno's there, and they were expecting him to turn things around. Brentford, they're just starting to impress me. I thought they got what's the word I'm looking for? They got everyone taken from them. Stripped down is the word I was looking for, or the saying. And man, they just continue to grind out results. So cool for them. I can't wait to watch it, though, because I want to see how it happened and what's going on with West Ham, especially since Nuno is supposed to make this team better, Vic.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, those are your matches for Premier League Match Day 8. It was a fun, eventful. Unfortunately, all of your no business teams lost. Tottenham lost. Everton lost. Liverpool lost. We're in shambles over here.
Yeah, wasn't fun. But hey, I gotta have to recap something that I said last season.
Okay.
I gotta recap something I said last season. And you told me I was stupid for even thinking it, but now I feel like I have a bone to pick with you. I told you that the reason that Slot was having such an easy go of it last year was because that was not his team. That was Klopp's team. He didn't have to do anything. They signed one guy who didn't even play, and yet they ran through the league. And now, Vic, they give him all the toys. It's not Klopp's team anymore, and they are losing like crazy. I want you to defend this because I told you this was going to happen, and you told me no.
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
Go ahead.
No, I can't defend it. I have no idea.
Violins.
See, did you see what happened just right there? Did you see my camera move? I went like this. See, this is what's been happening. All right. I can't defend it. I have no idea what's going on. There's no like magic out there. Back when we had Klopp, whenever you saw Salah on the ball, you were like, oh shit, he's about to do something. Oh, here we go. Where's he going? Now you're like, okay, he's probably gonna pass it to somebody. And when Isak gets the ball, they're like, okay, he's gonna throw it. He's gonna put it into somebody's legs. Like, there's no magic. There's no danger over there until we feel anything like that, any reminiscence of that from our championship team. Like, we're the worst team in the league. We're one of only 3 teams that have not scored a point since September 20th this year, and from today, and it's been absolutely terrible in the Premier League. So we've not been playing good. We would be at the bottom if there were only 4 games or 3 games, 3 weeks going by so far. And yeah, it's a train wreck right now. And I don't know what we need in order to get us out of this slump.
Oh, maybe you need to go buy players, right? Because you haven't done that already.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. I have no idea. Personally, I want to see Chiesa more. Things happen when Chiesa is on the ball. It's some good stuff, but he's also started a game and nothing's changed. So I don't know what I want. I just want to win. I want to go to B. Riley's and have a good reason to drink instead of the pain.
Okay. All right, you did good. You did good. I was trying to see how upset I could make you, but you played your cards right there. Okay.
You can't hurt me any more than Liverpool already has.
Fair enough. Hey, welcome to the party, man. We've been here a long time, so all right. Well, we're already catching up on an hour, and we have one more segment to do. So let's move on to UEFA competitions. Yes, it is crazy. Back from international break, we have a weekend of games, and then it goes right into UEFA competitions. This thing is jam-packed on this schedule. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about the Conference League first. We're going to talk about the games that for the teams that we cover, and maybe if there's anything extra. Looking at the schedule, though, there's not a lot of high quality matches for, like, between two teams that we think would be an outstanding match to watch. So the teams that we are covering week in and week out, let's go over those real quick. We have Crystal Palace taking on AEK Larnaca, and Crystal Palace, man, they have been flying in the Prem. I feel like they should be one of the favorites for this Conference League because they have. I mean, you can't equate the form in your domestic league to European league, especially for a team that's never really been there. So we'll see how it goes, but that should be a fun one. Also, Mainz, they're taking on Vic. Go ahead and say the name of that team.
Zrinski.
Oh, but I mean, I don't actually know. I'm not correcting you. I'm just saying it with you. So we'll see how that one goes. Mainz, though, they probably need some of these teams to beat up on a bit so that they can feel alive again in the Prem, because it has been nothing but misery down there. We also have Rayo Vallecano taking on Hacken, and that'll be a fun one. And I said Hacken because I assume that's how you say that one. Fiorentina, our Fiorentina gets Rapid Vienna, and Fiorentina pretty much runs the Conference League. They'll probably run it to the semis or the finals at least. What else do we want to say about Vic? I don't think there's too much more.
Let's those are the ones I recognize, really. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on to Europa League. A little bit more to cover here. Of course, we have our VfB Stuttgart taking on Fenerbahce, which we all know those Turkish teams are a bear, as one of our friends would say. They're a bear because, they're always tough to play, especially I don't know if this one's on the road, actually, but Stuttgart will have a good game there. And then we also have Aston Villa taking on the Go Ahead Eagles, which is just the coolest name. Another one we need to get a kit from, just because I want something that says Go Ahead Eagles, like, all right, Go Ahead Eagles. We also get Real Betis versus Genk. We get Bologna versus FCSB, which is Steaua Bucharest. Celta Vigo versus Nice. And then, of course, the other match that is there that there's a few more, but Basel versus Lyon, two teams that we don't cover, but Lyon and Basel, that's a classic matchup right there. We also get to see Roma versus Victoria Pilsen, and Nottingham Forest taking on Porto, which is probably the best match of the weekend. Maybe that's Celta versus Nice, and of course Lyon versus Basel. Some good ones in the Europa League. I can't forget about my boys Freiburg. They're taking on Utrecht. So okay. Vic, any other ones we need to talk about here?
Those are the only one I recognize too. Tel Aviv is on there. That's really weird.
That one. Yeah, Maccabi Tel Aviv. They're taking on Aston Villa, right?
No.
Wait.
What's the name called?
Wait, let me go to it. Michelin.
Yeah.
I said Aston Villa was playing someone else, didn't I? I can't remember.
Yeah, Go Ahead Eagles. That's right.
Yeah. But the reason why I was thinking Tel Aviv, because there's a lot of controversy about the Tel Aviv traveling to different teams. Like, there's a lot of political stuff going on. So we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of issues with them traveling right now. Okay, let's do it. Let's move on to the Champions League. Unless we want to talk about any other political issues in the world. I think we're good, right? Okay,
we should move on.
Let's move on. Let's go to the Champions League. Let's talk about it, because they got some bangers on tap for us. Barcelona takes on Olympiacos, which Barcelona, they just got beat, or they almost got beat, I guess I should say, in a match that they shouldn't have. And then they're going to be facing Real Madrid at the weekend. This is maybe one they're looking past, and we've seen it already. They can't look past teams like Girona. They can't look past teams in the Champions League like Olympiacos.
It's the good old trap game, the old college football trap game
there
going
you go.
on right there. Yeah.
There you go. Another banger, Newcastle versus Benfica, Napoli versus PSV. Ooh, Leverkusen versus PSG. That one should be fun. Inter versus Union Saint-Gilloise. We have Dortmund versus Copenhagen. Villarreal versus Man City.
That's going to be
and
good.
Of course, Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid. That one is going to be awesome. Athletic Club versus Karabag. Let's see. Where's some other ones? Where's my boys at? Oh, they're all the way
Real
at the bottom.
Madrid,
Chelsea.
Juventus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, man. That's a tough one to go. You got Juventus before you have a Clásico. That is a stretch for Real Madrid. Chelsea get Ajax. We have Atalanta versus our Slavia Prague. Monaco versus Spurs. Liverpool versus Eintracht Frankfurt. And Ekitike might just stay back because he doesn't want to go back home. Bayern take on Club Brugge. And Vic, how are you feeling about Liverpool's chances against Eintracht Frankfurt? I mean, I said it before, but I feel like Eintracht, they've been decent in the league in Bundesliga, but not really. Like that should be a win.
Not good. I don't feel any sort of confidence from anybody. I mean, we gave that guy that isn't cutting his hair until the 5th straight Manchester United win like hope. That's how bad we are. We gave him hope. Like it's not going.
They're at 2.
Yeah,
he needs 3 more. Look at that.
So, I don't feel comfortable. I mean, confident, and I hope Ekitike goes out there because I think he's like he might be our best striker right now. I don't know.
Well, outside of Liverpool versus Eintracht Frankfurt, because of course you're going to be watching that one. What's another match you're looking forward to?
I think that I just had it. I said it. What was it? Real Madrid and Juventus.
That was gonna be fun.
I think that was gonna be Juve. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty fun. And Juve needs a win just as much as Liverpool does. So maybe it's the way we can both turn it around. And of course, for my boy Christian, we're both hurting right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to PSG and Leverkusen. That one is it's very interesting to me, and I'm looking forward to Napoli PSV because Napoli needs to bounce back, especially since they're losing ground in Serie A. Because I don't know, Torino, I guess they're really good. I don't know what to expect now, but we got a lot of great games. I mean, we just went through all of them, but man, so many ones to watch. I wish they had like the full week so that they can have them independent, so it's not like 5 games at once. But oh well, we don't get that. Okay, I think we said it all. We've gone over an hour actually. So DJ, play our music. Vic, take us home.
Thank you again, everyone, for spending time with us and talking about some European football. Be sure to like us on everything. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter. That is at No Biz Sock Pod because those names are too damn long. Guys, we have some awesome European competitions coming up, and we will all talk to you Friday as we look ahead for the next match day coming up. Everyone like and subscribe. It's the best way to get notifications when those come out. We will talk to you all very soon. Peace.